Far Cry New Dawn. The Far Cry series has always been one of those 7 out of 10 sandbox games where the gunplay is enjoyable, but the story is optional. This time around, New Dawn is essentially Ubisoft's version of Fallout, which takes place on the Far Cry 5 Montana map, where, spoiler alert, once we finally defeat Joseph Seed, his prophecy becomes a reality and a nuclear bomb goes off. So the Ubisoft devs reused Far Cry 5's maps in its entirety, but in a post-apocalyptic setting, and to be honest, I really like what they did with the environments. Listen, they could have gone all wacky and outlandish with the wildlife like they did in Stalker and Fallout with their enemies, but here in New Dawn, they didn't. All the animals in the game are fairly standard. The most outlandish animal you'll probably see is a bison with a rocky moss texture.
Success!
They essentially took a more realistic Mad Max approach with the motocross and steampunk aesthetic, which I really do appreciate. But what I don't appreciate is the story, because Hope County is run by 2 female twin protagonists, and listen, I hope I don't get cancelled for this, but they're not very scary or enticing, and they don't really hook me into the story. Essentially, the whole story boils down to our character joining a group known as Prosperity, which is a fortress located at the bottom of the map, and if you've played Far Cry 5, you'll find some reoccurring characters. You remember the Burn Baby Burn guy mission? Well, he's here, and there's a similar mission that the devs ripped off again with another copyrighted song. The southern guy that we helped save his airfield, he's also back, and his wife with the Karen haircut is the head overseer of Sanctuary. Now, whoever was in charge of writing the script, they just have to be fired, because it's not corny on purpose like Far Cry 1's writing, but it's not serious either, so it's just horrible.
You're that outsider, huh? You're the Highwaymen are none too happy with you.
But I'm a little overwhelmed at the moment, TBH.
I'm gonna waste you like yesterday's lunch!
Your new name is Chud Waffle. Welcome to your new home, Chud Waffle. Get to work.
I can recultivate this stuff, sure, but like, honestly?
Nah, we don't care, Sorry, wait, what type of haircut was that? Are those dreads with an afro? Is that a dead fro? A fro dread? But the worst offender is Roger, who absolutely mocks my French-Canadian heritage. Why would a Quebecois be in the state of Montana during the post-apocalyptic state? Listen, I understand that a huge branch of Ubisoft's workforce is based in Montreal, which is where I'm from, by the way, and they often have a lot of French-Canadian actors like Clara in Watch Dogs. But in the case of Clara in Watch Dogs, it was done tastefully, just with a little accent. But here in Far Cry New Dawn, it's the same low-hanging fruit as putting an Indian guy in tech saying "do not redeem."
But ever since those Carlis the twins showed up, excuse my language, it's impossible to gather enough ethanol to fly outside of Hope County.
This place is cool, but fuck does it need a ménage?
Now you, me, la grosse patate, we're gonna get back to doing what we do best. Pissing off Highwaymen and stealing their resources. Viens ici, Carlis.
Hey, c'est sûr que tu me parleras pas de même, mon tabarnak. Despite all that, it's still a Far Cry game, so the shooting's very satisfying, it's quick, responsive, and it's one of the only redeemable qualities other than the visuals. But what is unredeemable is Ubisoft's monetary practices, in a single player, mind you. Essentially, in this game, you pretty much have to loot anything and everything you find for spare parts in order to craft weapons, vehicles, which I think is a great idea because it forces me to explore other parts of the map that otherwise I wouldn't have. But with that said, I find it absolutely disgusting that you can just cheese it by buying extra resources with whatever Far Cry credits. And look at this, how greedy! So obviously when I spent all my materials to craft an M4 and I had nothing left to make a car, I'd have to walk all the way over to my objective. I don't care, I'm going to walk 1,800 meters to my objective. It's not because I'm broke, It's just the principle. In a single player game, this is atrocious. The gameplay loop is alright. It's the same copy-pasted format of liberating outposts that are in control of Highwaymen, which start to get repetitive after the third time. Now, you would think that a game taking place in a post-apocalyptic world would make it difficult to traverse the wasteland with a bunch of Highwaymen patrolling it. Nope. Here's an unedited clip of enemies driving towards me, and I just mow them down with my trusty shotgun that I created with spare parts. Now, something that they did innovate on is the fact that this time around, in order to progress into the main story of taking down the two twins, you have to upgrade the main base like you're playing Clash of Clans. So again, by looting a bunch of materials everywhere on the map, some upgrades allow you to craft higher level weapons and vehicles, and other upgrades are purely just stat based where medkits can regenerate faster. And I'd confidently say that the majority of my 17 hours of playtime is mostly looting different outposts, doing side missions to earn extra materials to craft, and also defending the base from multiple Highwaymen waves of enemies. Once we finally upgrade the main base to level 3, we advance into the endgame storyline. Now, being that Ubisoft chose the Mad Max type of post-apocalyptic setting, every year there's a big car derby, and the last man standing gets the privilege of eating dinner with the twins and their organization. It's a pretty fun mission, but I decided to cheat a little bit and I used my sawed-off shotgun. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Yeah. Okay, we're about to meet the twins. It's showtime.
Take a deep breath and make it count. Oh, wait, they're not here. So we chase them outside, and then there's a super long boss fight. Like, I'm not even kidding. I did it in one try, but it took me about 25 minutes of just constantly shooting them because they're just super tanky, both of them.
Well, you've had a good run.
Listen, if you have a boring weekend ahead of you and you just want to turn off your brain, waste 15 hours into a game with responsive and snappy gunplay on a colorful map, I'd say go for it. Far Cry but purple. Yeah, pretty much. It's good but short. Buy it on sale. Not worth full price. Honestly, I agree. I agree with that a lot, Matt. I think I only paid like $6 for it. This should have been a DLC. I agree. Just because it's a reskin of the original map in Far Cry 5. Alright, thanks again for watching. Last week, the Mr. Swedish Bully himself, Swegta, commented on my video, which, I'll be honest, that felt really good. Last week I did post a Mafia 1 video, which was one of my favorite videos to make. Unfortunately, no one saw it, so if you didn't get it in your sub box or anything, or I'd recommend it. It was very fun. If you have the time, I don't want to force you. But thanks again for watching, and I'll hopefully see you maybe next week. Maybe, I think I'm going to play the second Far Cry or something. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next week. Alright, bye.